Welcome to this session where we are talking about editing features out there. We're going to specifically address data filtering, sorting of data, freezing of panes, splitting panes, protection or protect the worksheet, protect the workbook, put a hyperlink out there, and then hide the worksheets. Unhiding the worksheets is something that we are going to work on in this case. So now, why do we require this? We would have huge databases there to look at. First thing to understand is the present version of Excel supports typically 10 lakh rows and 1024 columns out there. And then I do not have I do not have the time. I do not have the type of complexity or as a human to understand that many rows and that many columns there. So I would view certain information which I am looking at in that whole data set, and then try to identify what is the type of a direction or what is the type of data I need to take in order to move forward on the analysis or on my work assignment that has happened out there. So to identify that, first let us look at a data filter out there and then move forward. So when we are looking at that information out there, you can see there is a huge data set I'm having here. You can see that I'm having typically almost around I'm having almost around 208 rows there. And if you look at, I'm having almost about almost 25 rows out there. That is the whole essence there. 24 columns essentially. So I have about 24 columns and 208 rows in this. And to each time go and look at each of those lines of information is typically going to be very difficult. So what I'm going to do is fit a filter out there, do a filtering there by selecting the entire data out there. You can do it with Control A, which is shortcut key there. But then in my case, when I do that, it would actually select these parts of the data set also there, which is not part of the data set, and then filtering uh, would not fit in there. So I want to fit it on only on the data there. So you can see that I have got an inverted triangle here, which would give me the values like this here. So I can see what are the values that are there in this column, how many unique, how many, it will display here only the unique numbers out there, and then it would give me the information. Now here, since this is the row ID there, typically we are considering the first value that is starting from say 58 to 20. There is a random row numbering or row ID that has been assigned here, but since it is an ID, we would see that it is unique, and that is why that many values are coming out there. So now if I want to specifically look at the order IDs are there, this is also will be unique. So year wise, there is a data that is available here. So looking at this information, I know in what format the data has been formed out there and how we typically identify the this thing. So IDs typically would identify the uniqueness there. And now the dates there, it is saying only 2014, 13, 12 and 11 out there. So I now understand that there are 4 years of information that is available in this particular column out there. And then the shipping date there, again I see 14, 13, 12, 11, because date column is having only that, and correspondingly the shipping date will also be in the similar year. Maybe the dates may be different here and there, but then obviously the years cannot differ. And then the shipping mode out there, you have first class, same day, second class, standard class. And this is how you understand the pattern in the data. Even though there is a huge data set out there, what is the values in that particular column is something that you can understand by putting the filter out there. And then the customer IDs, again, this is an ID, so that this is going to be unique. So you will have number of IDs equal to the number of records that are there out there, and there cannot be repetition in an ID out there. So you will have a huge number of values equal to the number of rows out there. And if there are missing values, then we normally drop those rows and then do our analysis out there. And here each customer's name out there, and since each is associated with an ID out there, it is unique out there. So on the session on duplication, we have seen how exactly it works. If you look at only the customer column, name column, then it would look like it is having duplicates. But when you associate it with an ID and there are different IDs to the same name, then it is a clear indicator that there are two different persons out there. That is the identification we get, and it becomes unique. And what is the type of segment that we are trying to cater to as far as our item sales or whatever is concerned? Who is our customer segment is what has been indicated here. So you have a consumer, you have corporate, you have home office out there. And then of course the city from which each of those customers have actually made the transaction out there. So we have a whole lot of this thing that will be whatever the customer has provided out there, and will be equal to the total number of records out there. And then the state to which it belongs, the customer belongs to, is something that would be there in this column, and we can identify that. And then of course the country where it belongs to, the customer belongs to, is what is there in this column there. You would have the postal codes, and then you are also trying to look at the markets. What are the markets in which we have the customers? We, in this data set, we are having Africa, APAC, the Asia Pacific region is what we are talking about, Canada, and then the EMEA, and then the EU, this thing, the LATAM, and then the USA. That are these are there in the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans across the US there. So those are the areas that we are essentially addressing in this section of the this thing by looking at this market column. And then we are looking at regions there. It can be different regions out there. So we are talking about the different regions there. So these are the values out there. So this is what you understand. Even though there are huge data set, you still have only specific values out there. And what are the type of product IDs that are there? Identification of IDs may be a slightly difficult proposition for the human mind. So we look at the category of items that we are looking at there, and that is now showing us furnitures, office supplies, and technologies that is there in this data set. Subcategories can be a huge lot of things in each of those categories there. And then the product, the order ID is there, so you can see the whole list out there. And then this will also be unique out there. It is an ID there, so you are looking at the IDs. And then you can look at the sales in each of those columns out there. So you are looking at the values by applying the filter. Essentially you are only looking at a specific values in each of the columns to typically understand what exactly it means, and what is the type of data set are we handling. We are understanding basically what is the type of data there. So if I remove my filter out there, if I remove my filter out there, if I remove the filter out there, I remove the filter out there, then I can go to the next step there. So what I will do is I will try removing this filter. Selected the data there. I'm just removing the filter. Now I will go and do a data sorting out there. Let me say again, we have to select the data there, and then we have to apply a sort function. So I'll go for a custom sort out here. Let me say I want to say look at the shipping modes as the first level of sorting out there. I want it from A to Z, or you can even look at it from Z to A out there, and then you say okay. So you can see that along with this thing, all the other lines also get shuffled up, and then I know first to look at the standard class out there, and then I'm looking at the second class, I'm looking at the same day, and I'm looking at the first classes out there. So these are the classes that are there in the shipping modes there. So based on the shipping mode, now I would like to sort the market regions out there. So let me say that I go here, and then I make a custom sort again. Already there is a sorting that has been done by a particular column. I can add another level out there, go there and sort it, say on the market. I select the market there. I put it that I want it from Z to A, for example, in the reverse direction, and you can see the change out there. So now you can see that the market, you can see the market column here. It has started with US because I told from Z, then it has come to LU, EU, EA, EMEA, APAC, and things like that. So in each category, it will order in that particular sequence out there, and you are able to see only that specific data out there. Now if I want to see, now let me say I will apply a filter out there, let me say that, and then I want to see only cases in this column of the market that have appeared in the US, or transactions that have been done in the US. So I will just say unselect this, and then I will go and select only US there, and you can see that this is the records pertaining only to US, and I will be able to watch only that. On the other side, if I look at the first column on which I sorted out, you can see that it comes in as this one, first class, same day. For US, all those classes which have been the records that we have will be there. Next, let me just go back. I will go to the market column again just to show you. I will again say deselect, and then I will say APAC. I'm only looking at the APAC region there. So you can see only the APAC region records now, of course, for all the categories out there. So this way you can keep filtering, and then you can do multiple level of custom this thing there. So I already put two levels there. I can now go and say that I want one more level below the this thing there, market. I would like to say look at category out there, and based on that, I can go and see what is the this thing there. So you can see that we had furnitures, office supplies, technology, things like that. So you can see that the furnitures, office supplies for each of those regions is what gets uh, sorted out there in order, one after the other, region wise, market wise first, and then according to the type of this thing. So region, the first level will be your category out there. After the category, the market. After that, this. So the sorting happens from top to bottom there. So that means from the first condition that you apply to the last condition, and within that you would see that the third condition that you have applied would get sorted. So that is how you would typically do the sorting out there. And the next thing I want you to show is, you see, each time I am trying to move up and down and things like that. And then the moment I move down, for example, let me say here, I'm moving down. And then now I am absolutely now unaware of which column is telling me what. See, by looking at the content, I may identify, but then it is taking some time in my mind to actually identify that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select the data again there. I'm going to select the data like this. Okay, I'll leave it at that. And then I'm going to go to view, and then there is freeze panes in this particular this thing there. I will say freeze the top row out there. So now when I visualize the whole thing here, let me go to the top there and show you where exactly this whole thing is. 1 minute, let me unfreeze this because so now it has selected the whole data out there. And now let me say that I want to freeze the top row out there, or the first column, or the first top row. So I will say the first top row. So you can see that there is a type of this thing that has been done here. So I will just scroll down. So I'm selecting this row. I will say freeze the top row out there. So you can see that there's a small line that is demarcating that. And now if I'm going to move there, Okay, I think we have done, we have to remove that filter that we set there. So I will just remove this filter, get in all the records out there, and then once all the records are there, let me also go back and remove the filter so that the filter does not affect any of our freezings out there. So now I'm going to just select the whole thing there. Let me get back here. Let me get to the first cell of the data there. I'll just position it there, and then I will go there, go to freeze panes, freeze the top row out there. So the top row is freezing here essentially. So I don't want the, maybe I will do one thing. I will just remove this to show this, demonstrate this thing there. Let me remove these rows out there because it typically takes the first row of the sheet out there. So let me just do that. And then there is one single row that is left out because that is the one that is freezed. Let me unfreeze that there, unfreeze the paints, and then let me just delete this row also to demonstrate this example out there. So now let me say I'm positioning it here, and I will freeze the top this thing. You can see that there's a line that is demarcated out there, and then you can see how exactly the titles or the column headers are still displayed out there even after the freezing out there. You can also freeze the column there, so I can go and then say freeze the first column out there. So the demarcation has come here. So when I move towards the this thing, the first column gets freezed. So this way, looking through the data becomes very easy out there. And then say wherever you want to freeze, you can freeze it. I'm just positioning the this thing out there, and then I'm saying freeze the top rows. So now you can see that there's a demarcation out there, and then as you move down, okay, I didn't unfreeze the previous the same paints there. So now let me position it here, and then let me freeze the top row. So it has the option of freezing only the first this thing out there. So actually there is another option which actually freezes all the rows and columns there. Now this is how we do the freezing out there. But then each time I want to see, say, the customer name, and then I want to see the customer segment out there, and I also want to see specific sales, profit, and these columns I want to see, for example. So each time I need to scroll, and by the time I come back, I already forgotten the whole thing out there. So what I'm going to do is keep the cursor somewhere here probably, and then I'm going to go and apply a split out there so you can see where exactly it applies. Now let me, I want the segment also on the first one there because I will have to scroll. So now I'm going to apply the split at this point there, and then now what I'm going to do is I will position that particular columns which I want to see. So I want to look at the sales, I want to look at the quantity, discount, profit, shipping order, what is the this thing there, what was the order priority out there is something that I want to see out there. So let me say that we are looking at these columns out there, the sales qualities for each of those customers out there. So I now have the mode there, I have the customer ID, I have the customer name, segment from which he is doing, what is the amount of sales, what is the quantity he is doing. And this is how I can split the whole thing and watch the data, understand the data out there. So that is what you need to identify when we are talking about freezing and splitting out there. Next, I want you to walk through is protecting the sheet and the worksheets. This can be done from various points out there. One is you can do it from here. If I want to protect the sheet, for example, when you do this, you want to select the lock cell, unlock the cell, you want to format the cell, you can select whatever information you want here, and then you can click OK there. So for example, let us say on this cell, I want to format the cell out there. I want to say insert hyperlinks out there, and then say OK out there. And then whatever hyperlinks you put it there, and whatever selections you did. For example, for doing a hyperlink, you see it is now protected. The sheet is protected there since I selected all those things there. So in order to unprotect the sheet, I will go and say unprotect, and now you see I'm able to put a hyperlink out there. It will now ask me where exactly I want to go out there, and then select. And when I click on that hyperlink linked cell, it will directly go to that particular position out there. So this is how hyperlinks can be given out there. And then this is one area. And then protecting the workbook itself, so you can give an optional password out there for the entire workbook. So only you can open it, because you have you understand or you remember the password out there, and then nobody else will be able to view this data that is there inside this worksheet. And then you want to share this worksheet, so you can allow changes by more than one user at a time. You are sharing this sheet across, putting it on a server out there, and then whatever changes each person does, he will be you will be able to view those changes out there. So this is how you could protect them. There are other places where the same information has been given. So I can go to the home there. In the format, you can see that I have this protector sheet there. So the moment I click this, again it takes me to the same thing there. So I will just select all these things that I have put there during the other one. So it will change, and then you can unprotect the sheet out there. Automatically it will do the whole this thing for you. And then you can even lock a cell out there. So this cell is now locked. You cannot type anything. You can do the process out there. So locked cells can be created there, and then you can format cells there. So when you format the cell, this is what you would get to format the cell. You can do the alignments of the text, font, borders, fill it, and then the protection, of course, you can do it from here. Again, you can lock it, you can make it hidden, and things like that. And when you want to look at hiding and unhiding, you can select hide the row, for example. You can see after 8 9 has come in, basically. So 9 gets hidden out there. And if I want to unhide the row, you just select on that. Supposing I want to actually unhide I want to hide the sheet itself, for example, here. So this is how I could do it, and then that sheet is hidden now. And then I can go back. I can select on unhide the sheet out there, and it is asking whether you are looking at this sheet. I say okay, and then that sheet comes back only when I only know that I have done a sheet. Nobody else would be able to identify. But at least in case of a row, you can see there when I'm doing the hiding. Please observe there. I hide a row there. So you see there is an indicator here, and if you look at the line number, row number out there, you are able to identify that a line is hidden out there. So unless it is password protected, you don't have to worry out there. So when you go back, you can just go there and then you can say unhide the row out there. So you can unhide that, unhide rows. So this is how you would be able to do the whole process there, and that's the whole process out there. So this is how you would be able to do all the things that we wanted to discuss on this sheet here. So just to this thing there, we applied filters, we did data sorting, we did freezing, splitting, protecting the sheets out there, and then hyperlink is one thing that I want to discuss with you. So let me say I want to go to the first sheet from the last sheet there. I will say editing features. For example, I'm giving the name of the sheet out there. Editing features. So I just touch upon that. I make a right click. There's an option called hyperlink out there, and then it asks me where exactly it has to display out there. So I'm talking about the same sheet there, and then I'm talking about OK, and then I click on this. Or another way of doing it is I remove this hyperlink there. I will put a fresh hyperlink. I will go here, and then I will just select the sheet on which I want this to go. So let me select that specific sheet directly out there. E colon Excel. Inside Excel, we want to go to this sheet, this folder out there. I want to go to this one there. So now if I'm going to click on this, it would typically be there only because it is there on that sheet itself. But my idea is to go to this sheet there. So let me just go there, do a right click for you again, remove the hyperlink out there, and then may do a hyperlink. So browsed pages out there in the recent current folder. So I want to do a bookmark there. I can do that. I want to go there to this one ASL. So this is the address I'm giving there by giving on bookmarking. I'll say OK there. So when I click here, it will automatically go to that sheet out there. So this is how we do the hyperlinking out there, and then hide, unhide. You can go from one sheet to the other sheet also you can go. You can move between, navigate between sheets in the same workbook and things like that. So with that, we come to the end of this session out here. And thanks for your patient hearing out there. Thank you very much.